Learning to speak English naturally and confidently is one of the most valuable skills you can develop in today's interconnected world. Whether you're advancing your career, traveling, building relationships, or simply expressing yourself, the ability to engage in everyday English conversations opens countless doors. This comprehensive guide will transform the way you approach English conversation, moving you from hesitant and scripted speech to flowing, natural dialogue that feels authentic and confident. Many English learners spend years studying grammar rules and memorizing vocabulary lists, yet when faced with a real conversation, they freeze. The reason is simple. Conversational English isn't just about knowing words and rules. It's about understanding the rhythm, flow, and natural patterns that native speakers use instinctively. This guide will bridge that gap, giving you the tools, phrases, and confidence to speak English the way it's actually spoken in real life. Understanding natural English. What makes conversations flow? The difference between textbook English and real English. One of the biggest challenges English learners face is the gap between what they learn in textbooks and what people actually say in everyday situations. Textbook English is often formal, grammatically perfect, and structured in ways that rarely occur in natural speech. Real English, on the other hand, is dynamic, flexible, and full of contractions, idioms, and casual expressions. For example, while a textbook might teach you to say, "I'm going to the store," a native speaker is far more likely to say, "I'm going to run to the store," or "I'm heading to the store real quick." Understanding these natural variations is crucial for sounding authentic and understanding others in real-world situations. The role of filler words and natural pauses. Native speakers don't speak in perfect, unbroken sentences. They use filler words like well, so, actually, and to buy themselves time to think, to soften statements, or to keep the conversation flowing. While language teachers often discourage these words, they're actually an important part of natural speech when used appropriately. Learning to use these fillers naturally can make your English sound more fluid and give you confidence when you need a moment to gather your thoughts. Instead of awkward silence, you can say, "Well, let me think," or "That's a good question," which keeps the conversation comfortable and natural. Essential conversation starters and greetings. Beyond hello, starting conversations naturally. The way you begin a conversation sets the tone for everything that follows. While "hello, how are you" is perfectly acceptable, varying your greetings and openers makes you sound more natural and engaging. For casual situations, try these alternatives. "Hey, how's it going?" "What's up?" "How have you been?" "Long time no see." "Good to see you." For more formal or professional settings, "Good morning, afternoon, how are you today?" "Nice to meet you, I'm Name." "I've heard so much about you." "Thank you for taking the time to meet with me." Small talk, the foundation of every conversation. Small talk often gets a bad reputation, but it's essential for building rapport and establishing comfortable communication. Topics like weather, current events, weekend plans, and shared experiences provide safe, universal ground for starting conversations. Effective small talk phrases include, "Can you believe this weather?" Or "How was your weekend?" "Any plans for the holidays?" Or "Have you tried that new restaurant on Main Street?" "Did you catch the game last night?" The key to successful small talk isn't the topic itself. It's showing genuine interest and using it as a bridge to deeper conversation. Ask follow-up questions, share your own related experiences, and look for common ground. Mastering the art of active listening and response. Show your listening, verbal and nonverbal cues. Good conversation isn't just about speaking, it's equally about listening and responding appropriately. Native speakers use various verbal cues to show they're engaged and following along. These include, "Mm-hmm," "Right," or "Yeah," Oh, really? No way. That's interesting. I see. Nonverbal communication is equally important. Maintain appropriate eye contact, nod when listening, lean slightly forward to show interest, and use facial expressions that match the conversation's tone. Asking follow-up questions. The mark of a great conversationalist is knowing how to keep dialogue flowing naturally through thoughtful follow-up questions. Instead of just waiting for your turn to speak, genuinely engage with what the other person is saying. Use these question patterns. What made you decide to? How did that make you feel? What happened next? Why do you think that is? Can you tell me more about? These open-ended questions encourage the other person to elaborate and show that you're truly interested in what they're saying. Common everyday situations and how to navigate them. At the coffee shop or restaurant. Ordering food and drinks is one of the most common everyday interactions, yet it can feel intimidating. Here are natural ways to order and interact. When ordering, I'll have a medium coffee, please. Can I get the breakfast sandwich? I'd like to try this special, please. What do you recommend? When asking questions, is that available in a large? Does that come with fries? Can I substitute the salad for soup? Are there any vegetarian options? When there's an issue, I'm sorry, but I actually ordered the latte, not the cappuccino. Excuse me, could I get some extra napkins? Would it be possible to get this to go instead? Shopping and customer service. Shopping conversations require politeness combined with clear communication about your needs. Asking for help. Excuse me, where can I find the electronics section? Do you have this in a different color? I'm looking for something for a birthday gift. Any suggestions? Trying things on. Can I try this on? Where are the fitting rooms? Do you have this in a size larger or smaller? Making returns or exchanges. I'd like to return this, please. I have the receipt. This doesn't fit quite right. Can I exchange it? I changed my mind about this purchase. Making phone calls. Phone conversations remove visual cues, making them particularly challenging for English learners. Practice these essential phrases. Answering the phone. Hello, this is Name speaking. Hi, how can I help you? Name here. Making a call. Hi, this is Name. May I speak with person? I'm calling about. Is this a good time to talk? When you can't understand. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Could you speak a bit more slowly, please? I didn't catch that. Could you say it again? Ending a call. Thanks for your time. I'll let you go now. Talk to you soon. At work. Professional conversations. Workplace English requires a balance between friendliness and professionalism. Here's how to navigate common situations. Greeting colleagues. Good morning. How's your day going? Hey, got a minute? How's everything with the project? In meetings. Thanks for bringing that up. I'd like to add something to that point. Could we revisit this topic? What's everyone's thoughts on this? Asking for help. Would you mind giving me a hand with this? I could use your expertise on something. Do you have time for a quick question? Offering help. Is there anything I can help with? Let me know if you need any assistance. I'm happy to take a look at that. Essential idioms and expressions for natural speech. Common idioms in everyday conversation. Idioms make your English sound natural and native-like, but they must be used in appropriate contexts. Here are essential idioms you'll hear regularly. Time-related. In the nick of time, meaning just in time. Better late than never, meaning it's good you came even if late. Time flies, meaning time passes quickly. Around the clock, meaning all day and night. Agreement and understanding. I'm on the same page, meaning I agree or understand. You can say that again, meaning I strongly agree. That makes sense, meaning I understand. I see where you're coming from, meaning I understand your perspective. Common situations. Break the ice, meaning start a conversation. Hit the books, meaning study hard. Call it a day, meaning stop working for the day. Under the weather, meaning feeling sick. A piece of cake, meaning very easy. Conversational expressions for everyday use. These expressions are the glue that hold natural conversations together. Showing interest. That's awesome. No kidding. Tell me about it. That's wild. Expressing sympathy. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. That must be tough. Hang in there, meaning keep going during difficulty. Agreeing. Absolutely. For sure. You got it. I couldn't agree more. Disagreeing politely. I see what you mean, but I'm not so sure about that. That's one way to look at it. I have a slightly different take on it. Building confidence, overcoming common obstacles, dealing with the fear of making mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to speaking English confidently is the fear of making mistakes. Here's the truth. Native speakers make mistakes too, and most people are far more forgiving than you think. Making mistakes is not just acceptable, it's essential for learning. When you make a mistake in conversation, don't panic or apologize excessively. Simply correct yourself if needed and move on. For example, I went to the store yesterday. I'm going to the store tomorrow. Most listeners won't even notice the error, and those who do understand that language learning is a process. What to do when you don't understand? Not understanding everything in a conversation is completely normal, even for native speakers. The key is knowing how to handle it gracefully. Polite ways to ask for clarification. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you run that by me again? What do you mean by... So, you're saying that? Just to make sure I understand. Don't pretend to understand when you don't. It's far better to ask for clarification than to miss important information or respond inappropriately. Building your speaking confidence. Confidence in conversation comes from practice and preparation. Here are strategies to build your confidence. Practice self-talk. Narrate your daily activities in English, even when you're alone. I'm making breakfast now. I need to crack 2 eggs. The coffee smells good. Record yourself. Listen to how you sound and identify areas for improvement. This helps you catch pronunciation issues and become more comfortable hearing your own voice. Find conversation partners. Practice with language exchange partners, tutors, or English-speaking friends. Regular conversation practice is irreplaceable. Prepare for common scenarios. Before attending events or meetings, think through likely conversation topics and practice key phrases you might need. Advanced conversation skills. Sounding more natural. Using contractions appropriately. Contractions are shortened forms of words, like I'm instead of I am, that make speech sound more natural and conversational. Native speakers use them constantly in informal speech. Common contractions to master. I'm, you're, he's, she's, it's, we're, they're. I've, you've, we've, they've. I'll, you'll, he'll, she'll, we'll, they'll. Can't, won't, shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't. Gonna, going to, wanna, want to, gotta, got to. Note that gonna, wanna, and gotta are very informal and should be avoided in formal or professional settings. Mastering intonation and stress. English is a stress-timed language, meaning certain words and syllables are emphasized while others are reduced. This creates the characteristic rhythm of English speech. Content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are typically stressed, while function words, articles, prepositions, pronouns are reduced. For example, in the sentence, I'm going to the store to buy some bread. The stressed words would be going, store, buy, and bread. Practice this by exaggerating the stress on content words and reducing function words until it feels natural. Understanding and using phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs, verb plus preposition combinations, are everywhere in everyday English and are essential for sounding natural. They often have meanings quite different from their individual words. Essential phrasal verbs are come up with, think of an idea, run into, meet by chance, get along with, have a good relationship, look forward to, anticipate with pleasure, put up with, tolerate, figure out, solve or understand, turn down, reject or reduce volume, bring up, mention a topic. Using these naturally in conversation immediately makes you sound more fluent and native-like. Cultural aspects of English conversation. Understanding conversational norms. Different cultures have different rules about conversation, and understanding English-speaking cultural norms helps you navigate social situations more smoothly. Personal space. In most English-speaking countries, people maintain about an arm's length of personal space during conversations. Standing too close can make people uncomfortable. Eye contact. Moderate eye contact shows you're engaged and honest. However, constant staring is uncomfortable, so it's natural to break eye contact occasionally. Taking turns. In English conversation, people generally take turns speaking, and interrupting can be considered rude, except in casual conversations among friends where overlapping speech is more acceptable. Directness. English speakers, particularly Americans, tend to be relatively direct in communication. It's acceptable to politely disagree or express your opinion, though you should still be diplomatic. Humor and sarcasm in English. Humor is a bonding tool in English-speaking cultures, but it can be tricky to navigate as a learner. English humor often involves wordplay, sarcasm, and cultural references. Sarcasm, saying the opposite of what you mean in a humorous way, is particularly common. For example, if someone says, "Oh, great, it's raining," in an exasperated tone, they're being sarcastic. They don't actually think rain is great. When you're not sure if someone is being sarcastic, pay attention to their tone and context. If you don't understand a joke, it's okay to smile and ask, "I didn't quite get that," rather than laughing along when you're confused. Taboo topics and safe conversation. Some topics are generally avoided in polite conversation, especially with people you don't know well. Generally avoid money, how much someone earns or paid for something, religion, unless in an appropriate context, politics, unless you know you're in like-minded company, age, especially women's age, weight or appearance, critical comments. Generally safe, weather, food and restaurants, movies, TV shows, books, travel experiences, hobbies and interests, local events or news. As you get to know someone better, the range of acceptable topics naturally expands. Practice strategies for daily improvement. Immersion techniques you can use anywhere. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country to immerse yourself in the language. Create your own immersion environment. Media immersion. Watch English TV shows and movies without subtitles or with English subtitles. Listen to English podcasts during your commute. Follow English-speaking social media accounts. Read English news websites daily. Listen to English music and look up lyrics. Active practice. Change your phone and computer settings to English. Think in English throughout your day. Join online English conversation groups. Participate in English forums or comment sections. Write a daily journal in English. The shadowing technique. Shadowing is one of the most effective techniques for improving conversational English. Here's how it works. Find audio or video of natural English conversation, podcasts, TV shows, YouTube videos. Listen to a short segment, 10 to 30 seconds. Replay it and speak along simultaneously, matching the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation as closely as possible. Repeat until you can match the speaker naturally. This technique helps you internalize the natural rhythm and flow of English, making your own speech sound more authentic. Creating a daily English routine. Consistency is more important than intensity when learning conversational English. Even 15 to 20 minutes daily is more effective than cramming hours once a week. Sample daily routine. Morning, 10 minutes. Listen to an English podcast while getting ready. Commute, 15 minutes. Review vocabulary or do shadowing practice. Lunch break, 10 minutes. Read an English article or watch a short video. Evening, 15 minutes. Practice speaking with the language partner or record yourself. Before bed, 10 minutes. Review new phrases or expressions you learned. Conclusion. Your journey to English fluency. Mastering everyday English conversations is not about achieving perfection. It's about developing the confidence and skills to express yourself naturally in real-life situations. Every conversation is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become more comfortable with the language. Remember that fluency is a journey, not a destination. Even native speakers are constantly learning new expressions, encountering unfamiliar words, and adapting their communication style to different situations. What matters most is your willingness to practice, make mistakes, and keep improving. Start implementing these strategies today. Strike up a conversation with a stranger in English. Call a customer service line for practice. Join an online discussion group, or simply narrate your day in English. Each small step builds your confidence and brings you closer to speaking English naturally and effortlessly. The English you use in real life doesn't need to be textbook perfect. It needs to be authentic, clear, and confident. With consistent practice and the techniques outlined in this guide, you'll find yourself navigating everyday English conversations with increasing ease and natural fluency. Your ability to connect with people, share ideas, and express yourself in English will open doors you never imagined. The world is full of English speakers waiting to have conversations with you. All you need to do is take that first step and start speaking. Your journey to confident, natural English conversation begins now.